The island nation of Mauritius is up against its former colonial power of the United Kingdom and the opinion of the United States in its battle for the Chagos Archipelago, also known as the British Indian Ocean Territory, or BIOT. A group of 58 islands south of the Maldives. This archipelago, while currently having no permanent inhabitants, has been a prolonged issue for these two countries, with neither willing to accept each other's claims, and comes with a history of secret maneuvering, circumvention of international law, and forced evictions. So, who do the islands truly belong to? And will Mauritius' ambitions succeed? The British Indian Ocean Territory and Mauritius have a shared history, with them both being islands in the Indian Ocean and both being part of both the French and British empires at some point. Their histories are so similar that they were even part of the same colony. 3 years before Mauritian independence, bringing the Chagos Archipelago with them, the British separated them into two, creating the British Indian Ocean Territory. The reason this was done was to allow the United States to build a military base on one of the islands, under British territory, instead of a newly independent African nation. Then, with the request of the United States, the British expelled the 2,000 indigenous Chagosian people on the island. Those people are still, to this day, not allowed to live on the land that they were born on. Meanwhile, the American military base is still operational, and played a part in the Iraq and Afghanistan war. So, how exactly did Mauritius and the Chagos Archipelago become two separate entities? The US identified the Chagos Archipelago, and more specifically, the island of Diego Garcia, as a prime location to build a military base, due to its central location in the Indian Ocean and a low population for easy removal. As the British communication states, the primary objective in acquiring these lands was so that they could be used for the construction of defense facilities without hindrance or political agitation, and so that when a particular island would be needed for the construction of British or United States defense facilities, Britain or the United States should be able to clear it of its current population. Because yes, while the islands today do not have a permanent population, it did before the creation of the military facility. Those who had roots on the island were called Chagosians, and were mostly illiterate and with little to no education, as most of them were plantation workers. Oh, and splitting a colony into pieces is against the UN's Resolution 1514, the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and People, Section 6, which states that any attempt aimed at the partial or total disruption of the national unity and the territorial integrity of a country is incompatible with the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations. But with a payment, they got the islands, even though they knew that this was violating international law. Separated in two, the British and Americans then began to pressure the inhabitants off the island, using several different strategies, including one-way tickets to Mauritius, although the one-way part was not disclosed until after they made it to Mauritius, killing their pets for cleansing and sanitizing purposes, and the remaining were just told, "We intend to close the islands by July." Stuck in Mauritius or neighboring Seychelles, homeless and without almost any prospects, many of the Chagosians ended up living in the slums. So, to close, we here at the British government work to support security and good governance, and preserve marine environment and historical heritage. These islands have been under continuous British sovereignty since 1814. We are aware that there are many who do not support our sovereignty over the islands, such as the International Criminal Court and the United Nations General Assembly, and even the agency in charge of the world's postal policy, but we are steadfast on keeping them. Because as we've stated before, we will give them back once they are no longer needed for security reasons. Will that time ever come? Who knows? But us in the US don't think that time is now. Oh, and to those Chagosians, we have expressed our sincere regret over what we have done. but we will not allow you to return there, much less live there. Hello, and welcome to the Chagos Archipelago, a part of the Mauritian government's territory. These islands have been part of Mauritian territory since before our name was Mauritius over 200 years ago, and were a part of us decades after. So with that being said, allow us to express our disappointment that the United Kingdom continues to flout the authority of the International Court of Justice and the General Assembly. We expect better from a country that claims to be committed to the rule of law. So we'll have to keep planting our flags in the sand and complaining to the UN until the UK gives up. So in conclusion, we have the backing of international institutions and over 100 countries, and we don't recognize any of that and we still control it. British government and Mauritian government. The two countries are expecting new negotiations to end sometime soon. So maybe the battle for the Chagos Archipelago can finally be resolved.